Today, I'm gonna be walking you through exactly how to plan your intermittent fasting schedule, how to plan your fasting length, when your meals should be within your window, and even what to do about the weekends. This is what I do with my clients as well when they decide they wanna start intermittent fasting. So I'm gonna take you guys through that exact same process to help kickstart your intermittent fasting journey. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's nutrition human performance. I'm also the creator of the complete intermittent fasting bundle that has helped thousands of men and women around the world to use intermittent fasting to achieve their weight loss and wellness goals. We're going to walk through everything, like very easy. And the first thing you really need to figure out is how long your fasting length will be, because longer is not always better. For example, some people benefit from a shorter fast, like an athlete or someone who has higher energy needs, especially higher protein needs. On the flip side, if you're more insulin resistant, you could benefit from a slightly longer fast. It's really about finding that balance for what will work for you. Now, for this first step, I did create a free quiz to help you determine what your ideal fasting length will be. I definitely recommend checking that out if you haven't already. I'll have it linked down description below because this is a really important step for making sure that you get your intermittent fasting journey started on the right foot. Now, regardless of how long your goal fast is, I usually recommend starting with a shorter fast first, usually around 12 to 14 hours. So like, let's say your goal is a 16-hour fast. What I recommend is starting with about a 12 or 14-hour fast if you're brand new, and then every day or maybe even like every few days, adding about 30 minutes to your fast length until you eventually hit your goal fast. This is important because it helps your body to acclimate to using intermittent fasting, makes it easier for your body to tap into fat as fuel without feeling that instant sensation of hunger, especially if you're used to eating right when you wake up and then maybe every few hours after that. It can take a little bit of a transition time for your body to get used to using fat as fuel between meals, or in this case, during that fasting time. So by easing into this process, it can make that transition a lot easier. Let's say your goal is a 16-hour fast, but you're starting off with 12 hours first. Make sure you're easing into the process. So you could do a fasting window of like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's pretty simple for most people. That's pretty much just making sure that you're not eating after dinner. You can do that for a couple days, and then once you've adjusted a bit, add 30 minutes. What I usually recommend is pushing your start time for when you're going to break your fast. So if this 7 p.m. is when you're going to start your fast, we're going to now push this 7 a.m. time. So you'll keep that the same, and then it'll be 7:30 a.m. So you can see you just pushed it by 30 minutes, not too crazy of a jump, and then you can just push that by 30 minutes more every few days until you hit that goal of 16-hour fast. Which kind of brings us to the next really important factor, and it's planning when your fast will actually be. So let's say your goal is at 16-hour fast. When determining when you should be fasting during the day, I always recommend starting with your most fixed meal of the day, meaning the one that you don't want to change the timing of because maybe it's like dinner with your friends or family every night. And usually it is going to be dinner for most people because that's our most social meal. So let's say you usually eat dinner with your family at 6 and you're typically done eating by 6:30. This is kind of like my eating schedule, but of course this is just an example. This is not something that you need to be doing. So if your dinner is at 6 p.m. and you know that you're done by 6:30 p.m., you know that your fast can actually start at 6:30 p.m. So from here, it's really easy to figure out when you're going to be breaking your fast. Because if you're done eating by 6:30 p.m. and you start your fast then you just count 16 hours later, and that's when you're going to be breaking your fast and starting your eating window. So by doing this, we determine that the break fast is going to be 10:30 a.m. So the eating window goal is to be from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. with a 16-hour fast. So if that's your eventual goal, you can use that 30-minute strategy of slowly increasing your fasting length until you get to that point. But this is how you would determine when you're actually going to be placing your fast and your eating window. It needs to fit your schedule, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, now the really important factor that I think does not get enough attention in the intermittent fasting space, and that's figuring out when your meals will be. And I'm really heavily emphasizing the meals portion because a big mistake that I see people do that's holding them back from achieving their goals with intermittent fasting is that they aren't actually eating meals, that they're grazing instead. I'm a huge advocate of a meal structure because it makes it more easy to actually get enough protein for your body's needs so that you can maintain muscle mass and maintain your metabolism, and so that you get additional gut health perks by not snacking between your meals even during your eating window. This is exactly why in my complete intermittent fasting bundle, I create a meal structure for you to follow and the recipes that are protein optimized for you to follow to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness goals while eating enough during that eating window, because it is that important. So obviously with this schedule, you know when you're going to be breaking your fast, and you know when you're going to be having dinner. The problem area for most people tends to be lunch. They either forget to have lunch or they just don't know really when to have it, because when you have this compressed eating window, it's likely not going to be the same time as what you previously had or what maybe people at work are doing around you. To give an example, a lot of people have their lunch break at like 12 p.m. If you're breaking your fast at 10:30, you're not going to be hungry within an hour and a half. What I usually recommend is trying to aim for your middle meal or your lunch to be around 3 to 4 hours after your break fast. So in this circumstance, that would be anywhere between 1:30 or 2:30. And something that I recommend to my clients as well as the A and peeps is to set a reminder, like a reoccurring reminder on your phone to tell you when to eat lunch. Because trust me, especially the people who've been doing intermittent fasting for a while tend to really struggle with actually getting lunch in, because hunger levels tend to start to go down the longer you've been using intermittent fasting. So by having that reoccurring reminder, you can get into the new habit of having lunch at that new consistent time. So I recommend, if you have it, using the calendar app, but really whatever method works best for you, but just having that constant reminder can be really helpful. And if you don't have as much control over your lunch hour, and so you won't have enough time to like sit and eat this big beautiful salad or some type of other more chewable meal that takes a little bit more time to eat, I recommend choosing a really fast and easy meal that you can even eat at your desk or be drinking at your desk. So this is something like smoothies, but just make sure that they're the right types of smoothies. I have a ton of recipes in my complete intermittent fasting bundle, or Greek yogurt bowls, or cottage cheese bowls, or protein-packed chia puddings. Those are all great, fast, easy options that are packed with the protein, fat, and fiber, help support weight loss and wellness goals while intermittent fasting, but also are really easy to eat at a desk, especially a smoothie. I have a lot of clients and A and peeps who are teachers who found that the smoothie option is best for them because they can just drink it while they're even teaching to the class. So I will have the complete intermittent fasting bundle linked down in the description below if you guys want to check that out. It goes through more of the step-by-step details on how you can use intermittent fasting, as well as what to actually eat during the eating window to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness goals. You can also find it at autumnlnutrition.com/shop. Okay, so really important factor for maintaining your success with intermittent fasting is knowing what to do on the weekends. Because although 10:30 to 6 might work for a lot of people, it works for me during the week, oftentimes if you're going out to eat or you're having brunch or whatever it might be, your schedule probably is going to be shifting to a little bit on the later end. So for this reason, I recommend using what I call window shifting on the weekends. All this is, and I don't want you to overcomplicate it, is just shifting when you start and end your fast by about 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever you need in order to allow you to fit in your weekend plans while it's within your eating window. So if your normal eating window is from 10:30 to 6:30, you could just shift it even by 2 hours and have it be now breaking your fast at 12:30 and then starting your fast back at 8:30. But just remember to immediately go back to your usual weekday schedule when Monday starts. Don't stress too much about these slightly shorter fasts that you're having on Sunday night. It all evens out in the end. And if you overcomplicate this part of intermittent fasting for yourself, you're less likely to stick with it. So just make it easy on yourself. Shift during the weekend, shift back during the week. So once you have your whole schedule down, you know when your meals are, it's really important to figure out actually what you're going to be eating. This is what I cover entirely in the complete intermittent fasting bundle. But if you want to see an example day of what I eat in a day with intermittent fasting, you can check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.